What's up, YouTube? I'm here to do my prediction video for UFC 195. And the only reason I wasn't putting these videos up was because YouTube wasn't letting me upload them for some weird reason. But now I've got this thing on my computer where I can just make the videos and then upload them directly instead of using YouTube. So I should be able to put these videos up on time from now on. So thanks for being patient, guys. But let's start. First fight is Edgar Garcia versus Sheldon Westcott. To me, these guys are pretty similar. I think that they're both pretty well-rounded. They both just kind of like to set a really high pace, and they just go for it. They're not the greatest fighters ever, but they're exciting. I'll pick Sheldon Westcott. I think that he's just a little bit better. I think it's just really close. It's hard for me to... I think it could go either way, but I'm going to pick Sheldon Westcott. Next is Joe Soto versus Michinori Tanaka. And there's basically two jiu-jitsu guys, but I think Joe Soto's got the better striking and the better wrestling, so I'm going to pick Joe Soto. I just feel like Michinori Tanaka is going to start to slow down, as where Joe Soto can... He's fought 5 rounds multiple times, so fighting a 3-round fight is nothing, and Tanaka's shown that his gas tank isn't great, so the first 2 rounds will probably be back and forth, but I think Joe Soto will get a finish late in the third. Next is Joe Duffy versus Dustin Poirier, and I don't understand why this fight isn't on the main card. I mean, this is probably the 3rd biggest fight on the card. I think this should have been like the number 3 fight. It's weird that it's all the way down here on the prelims where, I mean, nobody's probably going to see it. So this is weird to me. Just like when this fight was supposed to happen, I'm going to pick Joe Duffy. I just think that he's physically stronger. I think in every aspect of this fight, they're probably about even, but I just think his physical strength will give him the slight edge. I say he wins probably by decision. This is my pick for probably going to be fight of the night. But yeah, I just think that his physical strength is going to be what gives him the slight edge in this fight. Next is Drew Dober versus Scott Holtzman. And Drew Dober, you know, he's decent everywhere, but not great anywhere. And the same thing with Scott Holtzman. I'm just going to pick Holtzman because I think his wrestling is better than Drew Dober, and I think he'll be able to hit takedowns here and there and rack up points. I don't expect this fight to be a super great fight, but I think Holtzman will get the decision win. Next is Justin Kish versus Nina Asaroff. And I'll pick Justine Kish. You know, she's 4-0. Even though she hasn't fought in a while, she's already beaten a lot of the... she's beaten a couple of the top 15 women. And Nina Asaroff is just... You know, her record's like 6-4. She's not that great. I think that Justine Kish will be able to hit takedowns and just beat her up on the ground. Next is Kyle Noke versus Alex Nariro. And I'm going to pick Kyle Noke. I just feel like Alex is decent, but... You know, there are a lot of people that I think are decent but not great, and he's another one of them. And I think Kyle Noke has been looking better recently. And this guy is just not at Kyle Noke's level. He shouldn't be fighting somebody this good. It's only because he's late replacement. It was supposed to be Noke versus Gastelum, but, you know, props for him for stepping up, but I'm still going to pick Noke by TKO. Next is Michael McDonald versus Masanori Kanehara. And I don't know why, but I just feel like Kanehara is going to win this one. I know he probably won't, but it's just this weird feeling I have. I don't know. Like, Michael McDonald, he hasn't fought in so long that's just what worries me. As for Kanehara, I feel like... I just feel like he's on a real upswing in his career, and Michael McDonald just hasn't seemed like he's been that interested in fighting. I mean, I know he was doing this weird, like... Red Cross thing or something like that for a while. It just doesn't seem like his head is in the game as much as Kanehara's is. Like, Kanehara's career has taken, you know, a 190. I mean, he's gone like 10-1 in his last 11, and I thought he won that fight against Ronnie Yaya, so I'll pick Kanehara to win by decision. I think it'll be a really close fight, though. Next is Abel Trujillo versus Tony Sims, and I'll pick Tony Sims. I think that Abel Trujillo's biggest weakness is his conditioning is shit. You know, he can barely fight for more than 2 rounds. And I think Tony Sims will weather the early storm, kind of like Tony Ferguson did, and then come late second, early third, he'll probably win by knockout. Next is Diego Brandao versus Brian Ortega. And, you know, to me, Diego Brandao is still not that great. I just feel like he guesses, and his last couple of fights he's won by first-round knockout, and you know, he looks like he's on a decent run right now, but you know, him winning in the first round doesn't do anything different in my opinion. It's just the same stuff over and over again. Brian Ortega has shown that he can win fights in the 3rd round, late in the 3rd round, after being down 2 rounds like he did in the fight against Thiago Tavares, and I feel like he can take a hit. So I think this will be like Diego's last couple of fights in the sense where he'll win the first, start to look good in the second, and then come the third, Brian Ortega will take over and probably get a finish. Next is Albert Trumanov versus Lorenz Larkin, and Lorenz Larkin to me is a good striker, but not a great striker, and I feel like that's all he really has. I think he's kind of one of the most overhyped guys I've ever seen. I mean, he's been knocked out before by a guy who's just a pure boxer, and he looks better at welterweight, but I still don't think he's a future title contender. I'm going to pick Albert Trumanov. I think we've already seen him knock out great strikers, and I think this is another great striker that he'll knock out. Next is Stipe Miocic versus Andrei Arlovski, and if Stipe fights like he fought against Mark Hunt, he'll win. I know that, but I want Andre to win so bad that I'm going to pick him. I know he's probably going to lose, but I don't care. I feel like Andre will be able to stuff the takedowns and win by knockout. My hope is it's like the Nate Marquardt fight against CB Dollaway where Miocic will look like he's starting to win, and then Andre will knock him out with a huge counter. That's just how I see it in my head. I don't know why, but I'll pick Andrei Arlovski by knockout because that would be the greatest comeback story of all time if he could actually beat Stipe. But I'm just going to be, like, for real, most likely what's going to happen is like what happened against Mark Hunt. But I'm still going to pick Andrei Arlovski. And finally, we got Robbie Lawler versus Carlos Condit, and I like these guys a lot. These are probably my two favorite welterweights in the UFC right now fighting. So whoever wins, I'd be happy with, but I still want Robbie to win just because, in all honesty, I feel like whoever gets this belt, I don't want to lose this belt, and I don't feel like Carlos Condit has the same, I guess, stylistic matchup against. I think Robbie Lawler matches up better against a lot of those strong wrestlers. I think his takedown defense is a lot better than Carlos Condit's is. I think Carlos Condit has really great jiu-jitsu, but I think those wrestlers are just too good at not getting submitted, and I feel like Robbie Lawler's stylistic matchup works up better against those guys. Realistically, though, I think Condit's probably going to win this fight, but I'm still going to pick Robbie Lawler to win by decision. I just feel like Condit, if he could get this fight to the ground, he'll probably win by submission. But I think Robbie Lawler will be able to stuff the takedowns and not get pulled into guard or anything weird like that. So I'm going to pick Robbie Lawler by 48-47 decision. Another fight that I think is going to be really close and potentially the fight of the night. And like I said, I'll be happy with whoever wins this fight because these are probably my two favorite welterweights in the UFC right now. So thanks for watching, guys. Sorry I didn't upload the video for the last fight night. I'm going to do some recap videos to make up for it. So stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe.